gotta be kidding me. She's piped it.
All
Okay,
right.
okay.
And in fact, when I was little, I wanted to be a fashion designer, believe it or not.
Well, look at you now.
I know, right?
Yeah, that all worked out.
I mean, I don't know, but yeah, so it's fun to combine. Now I have a passion for golf and combine it with fashion.
You're the president of PXG Apparel, but you're a golfer first and
Yeah,
foremost, right?
yeah.
So how much golf are you getting to play, and how did you get into the game?
Yeah, I play about on average 2 times a week here
Okay.
at Scottsdale National. Started playing 9 holes on Sundays, and then eventually it moved up to 18 holes. And then we go to Hawaii often, and I met a group of women in Hawaii that played golf a lot.
Okay.
And when we're there, we have more free time, of course.
Right.
Not working as much, and what do? You play golf. So started playing golf with them, and it was a lot of fun. Then we could be super competitive, play from the same tees,
Right.
and just meet another community of women. And in fact, I've probably met some of my best friends on the golf course.
On the golf course.
Yeah.
It's
Exactly.
kind of nice also to get away. I mean,
Yeah.
playing with your husband's one thing,
Mm-hmm.
but to really get into the game, you have to sort of independently go out on your own and seek out your own
Yes.
version of what it's like.
Yeah, no, it's true. It's a different dynamic, and it's a lot of fun. You do learn a lot about different people on the golf course.
Yes, you do. Do you find that how a person is on the golf course is how they are in the business or socially?
I think so. I
Okay.
think you see a realer side, if you will, of somebody that they might not show you
Right,
in a regular social circumstance.
right.
But yes, I think it's definitely telling. And especially if you are doing business with somebody or you're thinking about doing business, it's a great way to get to know them,
Right.
how they act on the golf course, how competitive they are.
Well, it's also how they deal with stress.
Exactly.
Right? Like that's the biggest
Yeah.
thing for me is how they deal when somebody's doing well with success and with stress, because you're going to get it on the golf course.
You are, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's how you handle the misses, right?
Right. That sounded good. Oh, get down.
All right. Nice.
right.
You're on.
Everything that you've touched, not only is it at a really high level, like the PXG house,
Thank you.
this get up, like
Yeah.
that's you have to know what you're doing too. Those
Yeah.
aren't like accidents.
Well, right. It is a
Right?
lot of work. It's hard work. It's fun work. It's a lot of decisions. It's instinct. My background is in hospitality, hotel business. So I grew up on the operations side
Sure.
of it. I started working when I was 13 years old. So I look at it from a different perspective.
Right.
So certainly building the PXG house, I mean, I was looking at it, okay, how will this be for the employees? How will it be to serve, go from the kitchen out to the terrace?
Right.
How long is it going to take them to get the order? And how is the quality of food going to be? We don't want it to be too long.
Sure.
And so all of those things in my background help me to see things from the full operation, and also then aesthetically, because I'm just interested in that. It's sort of like 5-star service, but out of the way, not in your face, not intense and bothersome.
Right.
You know?
Okay.
So it is an art, and takes a lot of work, takes a lot of daily management.
Okay, so let's talk about clothes. Let's talk about, so this is what you have on you've had a couple of new pieces come out. I saw
Yes.
some of them at that headquarters. So so this is the start of something big that you're working on. So like what
Yes.
does PXG Apparel look like in 6
Yeah.
months, and then what does it look like in a year?
Yeah. So we just landed the spring-summer seasonal collection.
Okay.
We did a smaller collection, more of a capsule. So you've got, 10 polos of different styles and patterns for men. And then we had about 20 different pieces for women, including bottoms.
Okay.
And so as we go this year, the fall-winter season, that will be our next collection coming out. That'll be a little bit bigger, about 45 pieces.
Okay.
And then we'll launch in a bigger way in spring-summer season 2020.
Now, would the idea ever be, the idea is always to get PXG clubs with PXG clothes with PXG,
Yes.
every underwear, the whole thing is PXG, right? But obviously,
Right.
you want people that don't necessarily play the clubs to want to buy the clothes too,
Yes,
right?
exactly. Yeah, we, the logo's strong. We're trying to create more fashion-forward pieces, things that are flattering, make you look good, feel good.
Right.
On and off the course. We do have a lot of people that order PXG hats, and they're not golfers because they like the logo.
Right.
And so we think that there's a market for that, and of course our golfers. So we'll start with the golfer, customer.
Sure.
And or the spouse of, a PXG customer, and then go from there.
So do you think about that stuff when you're designing clothes, about creating conversation around a certain piece, or is it like we just want it to look clean and...
Yeah, I think it's both. I mean, I think the logo kind of does that on its own.
Sure.
So that's not in the forefront of my thoughts, but it's clean, it's fashion forward, it's bold. It's kind of what we feel our PXG customer is. They're,
Right.
They're looking for the cutting edge. They're looking to be on an elevated basis with their equipment, and then also their look.
It's gotta feel high end, like the whole thing's gotta feel elevated. So
Yeah.
who are your influences?
In the golf world, I love what G4 has done. I'd say in their shoes especially, I wear a lot of the G4 shoes, and then I wear Walter Genuine, which I have on today.
Those are cool. Yeah.
Thanks, a little high top.
Okay.
But yeah, I think there's a definite space to be had. And we are obviously specific PXG, so I don't feel like any of the lines out there we're direct competitors with, because I think we offer something different.
Right.
So we sort of complement what other people are doing. So I could wear my G4 gloves or shoes with my PXG
With your PXG
apparel.
total outfit. And
Yeah.
Are you guys ever gonna get into shoes? You think?
I don't think so.
No?
I really don't.
It's a
That's
different
a whole
demo. It's
nother,
a whole nother ballgame.
It really is.
Okay.
Yeah. Wow.
So in your opinion, 'cause we talked about this a little bit, but like
Yeah.
golf fashion, like on the guy side, is starting to kind of,
Yeah.
it's like Jay Lindenberg and G4, and there's some cool companies, but
Yeah.
on the women's side, there's like, what's wrong with it though? Like you're into fashion, like you look at golf fashion, like what's the problem?
Yeah, I know. I think it's a combination of fit and silhouette, and I think maybe some lines are trying to be all things to all people, which you can't do. So it's like pick a lane and stick with it. I think, for my being petite, my problem is things tend to be too boxy, too long. So I end up
You're looking
altering.
for something to lengthen you out.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yes, and so I end up altering everything. Now, will my collection be geared to just short people? No.
No, it's not supposed to be.
No, it's supposed to fit. In fact, this was our first stab, which I was nervous actually about fit, and I'm getting really great feedback already, and I'm like, my tall friends, because most of my friends are tall.
Right.
And,
You get somebody like Anna, for example, like she's a good prototype for your tall, skinny person. So,
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, and so she can wear the small or extra small, and it's perfect.
Gotcha.
So it's great. And then I wear the same size, but of course I'm.
But what's your model for girls' fashion? That's what I've always wondered with golfers. Like, what is your prototype body to actually create a line around? Because it's not. You'd say, well, it's like real life. It's kind of not. Like I don't know how you fit stuff.
I know it is. Well, we're still learning that part. In fact, that's a big topic of conversation is fit models.
Right.
And so, because obviously our partner in Korea, they have a fit model, but their body type is totally completely different than ours. And so, we're still developing what is that model? What is that body? It's not going to be super tall and skinny, but it's probably going to be like a person that's 5'6".
Okay.
Certain measurements. Sort of like middle of the road. And like for men's, we have a athletic fit and a relaxed fit.
Okay.
So somebody like you would wear the athletic fit, and then we have the more relaxed fit for the bigger gentleman. Everybody in golf is all different body types, right? So you can be super fit, you can be not, and be a great golfer. So that's what's kind of cool about golf, but then it creates all these
Other problems
for fit, and who do you size for? But
well, it's also you have to target. Now you're thinking about age group, like because there's different demographics of golfers. There's like people like my parents that be high end and want to wear nice stuff, but then you have college kids that want to wear.
Exactly.
That's a big job, girl.
I know. And then with women, it's all the rules, right? So you can't have anything too short at some clubs.
Right.
And
depends where you not here.
Not here. We have no rules. So you can wear whatever you want.
Okay.
As long as their only
Can
rule
you wear
is,
jeans here?
Yes.
Can you wear like jeans and a tank top and go out in your bare feet?
You could, but it's not advised.
Okay.
Because it just doesn't, only because it doesn't look good.
Right. So you're saying like like you wouldn't do it, but somebody theoretically could come out here.
Theoretically, somebody could do it. But the only rule we have at Scottsdale National is that no member or guest can impinge on another member's good time.
Okay.
So me having to see somebody in a wife beater tank top, that might infringe on my
Unless
good
it's
time.
like Brad Pitt, then you're kind of
Right,
like,
then
oh,
I'd be
that
okay
doesn't
with
suck.
it.
Okay, we're gonna
Exactly.
Everybody knows that you guys are philanthropists, but to the level and the curated list of people that you help out, like you guys find causes that sort of pull on your heartstrings.
Definitely. Yeah.
And they're not like the ones that you would find in, Warren Buffett type situations. Like you guys actually seek out where you can actually do some good.
Yep.
So talk to me about that kind of stuff.
Yeah, sure. We started the foundation in 2012, and prior to that, we did a lot of giving through GoDaddy and GoDaddy Cares, which I headed up starting in 2010. And so through that experience, we based most, if not all, the philanthropy here in Arizona in the Valley. And really, both of us are drawn to causes that are typically very glamorous, that organizations that are doing a great job in their space, but they have a hard time raising funds for whatever reason. And so that was one of the things we said at the beginning is, let's focus on our core values, let's leverage our dollars in specific ways so that we can actually make a difference. Instead of spreading it around a bunch, little bits all around, we wanted to just target larger amounts to less people.
Well, it makes it more personal for you guys too,
Yes.
so you can feel like you're actually making a significant difference. It's one thing to give like 50 grand, 50 grand, 50 grand, 50 grand, but you get in there and give a lot more than that to one specific cause.
Yes, then you really get to know that.
Then it really means something, right?
Yes.
What's the one about people, about the immigrants that are here that, like that was another beautiful program that he really took to heart.
Yes, yes. So, and at the beginning of our formulation of the foundation, we were like, we found that some organizations would not help the undocumented population at all. So we made a stance and a decision that we were not going to fund any organization that didn't.
Okay.
So that really was a game changer for us, but also for the community, because not to say that we single-handedly did that, but now in this community, nobody discriminates based on immigration status anymore. None of the nonprofits. Yeah, so that was huge. And so, because it's like, no matter how they got here, they're here.
They're here, yeah.
Right? So you can have an opinion one way or the other about that, but we are like, let's deal with the matter at hand. Let's try to get these people educated, get them jobs, functioning members of society.
Yeah, taking care of their kids.
Take care of their kids,
yeah.
Exactly. So crisis nurseries, which he probably touched upon.
Yeah, he did.
And that's a neat one, and I visited their shelters, and they can drop their kids off and have them take care of them for the day while they go job interviewing, which you think, oh my gosh, those basic things.
That's a real thing too.
It's a real thing.
It's not coming out of thin air. Like that's a real issue.
It is. Yeah, exactly.
Most of those kids end up just getting left behind, or by the time they're 9, 10, they're used to being by themselves all day.
And then that's when they get into trouble and things go downhill.
Wow, that's humbling. Okay, thanks for that.
Sure, of course.
It's good info to have. Okay. How much work do you do with like young women, like mentorship programs? Like where do you sit with all that kind of stuff?
Yeah, we are pretty involved, and it's a passion for me specifically. Locally, we're working with one of the local Girl Scout chapters of Phoenix, and we have partnered with them pretty heavily, and they're just doing amazing work in their space with teaching young girls confidence, leadership, how to work with others. And you would think that, it's the Girl Scouts, they have no problem raising money. Actually,
yeah, they do.
Quite the opposite, right?
My son's a Beaver, so in Canada, so yeah, I know what it's like.
It's kind of
a
similar. And in fact, women and girls philanthropy in this country is shockingly only at 7% of total giving.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So we see a need there, and we know they're doing great work in this space at this local chapter here with the Girl Scouts, and nationally they are too. They're doing some really cool stuff with STEM. Okay. And prototyping it here in this chapter in Phoenix. So our chapter here is pretty much at the forefront nationally for the Girl Scouts. So we love that program. I love it specifically. We're working on a We have cabins, of course, there.
Okay, yeah.
And they are creating a cabin after me. So
The Renee cabin.
The Renee cabin, yes. And so that's super exciting. We'll unveil that later this year.
Okay.
And other women, female leaders in the Valley have their own cabins as well there. So it's a very esteemed group of people. So working with that, working with an organization called Women Moving Millions. I just joined that group this past year. So it's a group of women nationally working on philanthropy and talking and collaborating and sharing great ideas. And
is that non-specific charity work? So you're
Exactly.
kind of coming together with a bunch of women trying to figure out where you can direct your energy.
Exactly.
Who was your mentor? Like who did you look up to when you were growing up? Was there a woman in your life that kind of showed you the way? Or
I mean, yeah, I guess in general, since I started working when I was 13, I mean, my first boss, and it was one of my family's restaurants, was a female.
Okay.
So she was a restaurant manager and strong, tough, but fair.
Right.
And I don't know that I'd call her a mentor besides, working for her during that stint, but it was definitely somebody I still remember, right? Like it was pretty impactful at the time. Holding yourself accountable, getting to work on time, making sure you're, ready to go to work, you've got your uniform, your name tag, all the basics. But at 13 years old, how do you learn that? How do you know that unless somebody teaches you?
So for you, it's, the first interaction you had, we'll call it professionally.
Yes.
With a woman that ran a restaurant.
Yeah.
And that's amazing to me.
Yeah.
Because it's not a target. It's not like somebody you sought out. It's like you had to go work for that person. So
right, and make it work. And and they, believe me, just because I was the boss's daughter, there was no preferential treatment.
No extra treatment?
No, in fact, probably the opposite.
See, that sucks. I want the extra. I seek out the extra treatment. The only problem with me is my dad would never hire me.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Renee.
That was fun. Yeah.
I learned so much today.
Me too.
I feel like I know your whole family in a way that I never would have known before.
Well, it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was perfect.